There's a war going on, and right now this war is more destructive than what's going on between Russia and the Ukraine. This war is also more polarizing than the battle taking place between America and Israel and Iran. And this war can personally pulverize your personal life as well as that as your family. And the only thing that worries me is why is nobody talking about this war? This war that we need to talk about is the war on your wealth. And the reason why we need to talk about it is because it's actually more personal to you than the current wars that are taking place around the global climate. Now, the thing that's interesting is the same catastrophe that's taking place to every casualty of war, whether it be in Ukraine, whether it be in Russia, whether it be in Iran, whether it be in Israel or America, is the exact same thing that's taking place to every single one of us through this war on our wealth. Now, you might be someone who's saying to yourself, Samuel, I'm far removed from any kind of war. There's nothing that's going to happen to me and my family for sure. I'm here to ask you a very simple question in this video, and that is, are you really sure? Because as a war on wealth proceeds, what is going to happen is the opportunities that you and I have are going to be shifting right under our very feet unless we discover the very detriment that takes place to every casualty of war, and that could actually be taking place for each and every one of us as well, unless we make a drastic change. Now, in order to share with you how your personal wealth is going to be affected by the actual landscape of the current wars that are taking place, I want to literally use this current war to give you a real picture of exactly what is going on. Now, the first question I want to ask you is what's taking place with every single person who becomes some form of a casualty throughout this war? And the first thing that's taking place is everybody is having more options limited, okay? So options are being limited by virtue of the fact that a house is being bombed, an area is being bombed, vicinities are being bombed, resources are being bombed, and every single one of these calamities are causing a limitation in options. Now, the second thing that's taking place, which many people do not talk about, is actually optimism, okay? Because every single person, as they go through any form of war, are going to have their optimism affected. Now, this may happen in a positive manner, but 9 times out of 10, when there's war, this is often happening in a negative fashion. Now, the last thing, which is super crucial beyond our options and beyond our optimism, is actually our opportunities. Now, opportunities are often lessened as we go through any type of war situation or any type of war scenario. Now, if we think about those who are tragically caught in the crossfires of war in Russia, those who are tragically caught in the crossfires of war in the Ukraine, as well as Israel, America, and even Iran, we have to think about what's happening to each and every one of these people. Each and every one of these people are having their options reduced day by day. They're having their optimism affected day by day, and they're also having their opportunities reduced and affected day by day. So how much different to them is your situation? Because the reality is, if you understand the global political situation that's taking place right now, the exact same thing could be happening to you in the regard of your wealth. Now, think with me for a moment. If you're someone who right now is unable to charter a private jet from the country where you live in, you may be unable to actually travel to certain locations across the globe. Your options are being reduced. And at the same time, if you're someone who's being subjected to the atrocities taking place whilst these wars are playing out, then also what's happening is potentially your optimism is being affected. And if you're someone who's saying to yourself, you know what, Samuel, I'm really actually seeing exactly what you're talking about here, because my opportunities are being reduced, my optimism is actually being affected, you've probably recognized that your options are also dwindling away at the same time. So in this video, what I want to do for you is reveal to you how you can make a change in each of these 3 lanes. Now, I call these 3 my 3O trio, because I recognize that the 3 of these O's are the key to your wealth, effectively your health, and even your relational success. So if you're someone who's been looking for success, then welcome to this video, because this is the one where I'm going to help you. And for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Samuel Ikhinwmin. I help people create consistent and then colossal cash flow using resources and revenues that are often hidden right in plain sight. So if you get value from this video, feel free to hit the like button, and side by side with that, why not hit subscribe so you can keep up to date with all of the content as we drop it on this channel. Now, with that being said, let's jump right in. If you're someone who said to yourself, you have a desire to generate more wealth, but for some reason, it seems to always slip through your very fingertips, this video is really going to help you understand what you need to focus on in order to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Now, the first thing I would encourage you to take a real strong look at right now, especially as the current climate is operating the way it's operating, is your options. What options do you have? Now, as it pertains to your finances, what happens a lot of the time is people assume they only have one option. And that option very often is their JOB, which I've often heard being called the jump out of bed to get on the journey of the broke so you can stay just over broke. Now, regardless of how you see a JOB, the reality is if you see your job as your only option, what you're doing is you are limiting yourself. Now, I remember a number of years ago hearing John C. Maxwell make the statement that leaders always have options. It was actually that very same sentence that I heard from John C. Maxwell that helped me build the courage in order to actually sack my boss back in 2016. So I want to encourage you, if you are someone who hasn't evaluated your options, you haven't taken an audit of what opportunities are available to you, now is the time. Take a step back, take a pen, take a paper, and just start writing down the financial options that are available to you. Because I can guarantee you that failure to do this is probably one of the largest reasons why most people are not generating as much wealth as they could be, and I do not want that to be your story any longer. Now, the moment you've taken some time and thought about the actual options you have available to you, the next thing I'm going to encourage you to do is start to go to work on your optimism. Now, many of us, many a time, spend a lot of our time watching things that do not help us. If you spend a lot of time reading trashy novels or watching true crime programs, what's going to happen is your optimism for life, your optimism as you look at people and connections and opportunities and your network is all going to dwindle. It's all going to crumble, because bit by bit, what these shows and these books are doing is they're eroding your worldview of humanity. Now, I get it. A lot of people tell me a lot of the time, Samuel, music can't have that impact on me. Reading a book can't have that impact on me. And it's okay if you believe that. But if you're like me and you've come to the realization in life that every single seed you plant in your mind has a way to find its way to become a tree, then just like me, you would have realized that that means you now need to start to curate the seeds. And if you are someone who said you need to start to create the seeds, I want to encourage you to go to town first on working on your optimism. What kind of information, when it comes in, helps you build up your optimism for life, your optimism for leverage, your optimism for learning? What are the things that when they get in, you start saying to yourself, I want to go again. I want to do another version. I want to make it happen. I want to try something new. I want to get to the top of the mountain. I want to take this small tweak in order to achieve this great peak. And as you start to answer that, that's going to give you the foundation of what you need to start to focus on so you can start taking advantage of those options that we spoke about a moment ago. Now, the last thing I want you to do in the 3-0 trio is get focused and clear on your opportunities. Now, you've already kind of done that if you've taken out the pen and the pad and you started to write down the options you have available to you already. Options to invest, options to do a side hustle, options to get a promotion at work, options to take on another shift, right? But what I really want you to do is not just focus on those options and the optimism, but as you think about the opportunities, start asking yourself a simple question. And that simple question might be something as easy as, well, how can I do this without necessarily investing more of my time? How can I do this by leveraging potentially some of my money? It might be my savings, it might be returns that I've generated, it might be dividends that I've been able to tap into, but how can I do this with the formation and format of leverage? You see, often when we study wealthier people, we realize something that I first heard from Jim Rohn, which is success leaves clues. And by virtue of that, what that basically means is you don't have to learn from your own mistakes. You can actually learn from the mistakes of others. And I've heard many people say in the past, experience is the best teacher, but I've actually come to discover myself that experience isn't the best teacher because there's a better teacher. And the better teacher than experience is the experiences of others. Why take 70 years to learn what you can learn in 7 hours by reading a book of someone who had to take 70 years in order to write that book? So with that being said, what I want you to do is take an audit of your options, take some time to work on your optimism, but also really have a good look at the opportunities available to you. What opportunities do you have for leverage? What opportunities do you have to build? Because one thing I hope you're taking away from the current climate that we are seeing around the globe, that nothing is promised. And if you understand that, you might right now understand for the first time how important it is for you to start taking advantage of your wealth and not allowing it to be dwindled by the war on your options, the war on your opportunities, and the war on your optimism. I want you to be encouraged by the end of this video and take full advantage of the future you have ahead of you. And remember, as I usually say, that small keys open big doors. Good day, God bless. Samuel Ikhinwmin signing out. I'll see you next time. Let's go.